Evening, folks. Welcome to episode 30 of Everyday KT. Tonight, we're going to talk about what your kilt can do for you. And last night I had a little problem with a dry throat, so I'm fixing that thanks to my good friend Nathan down from Texas. It's good stuff, some Glendronach. Very tasty. It's the peated variety. It's pretty awesome. So, what can your kilt do for you? So, everything I'm about to say is prefaced by one rule. Everything that I'm going to say all depends on you not being an asshat. Okay? That means that just because you're wearing a kilt does not make you a god king or the ruler of the universe or whatever highly exalted position that you think it might convey. Everything depends on you being a decent human being. So, that being said, obviously the first thing that a kilt is going to give you is attention. It's going to give you crap loads of attention. Everybody in the universe is going to notice the guy walking around in the kilt. So that's good if you are professional and you're trying to use the kilt as a means of standing out. It's bad if you're trying to be incognito. This is probably the antithesis of incognito. This, to visibility, it's like the opposite of a ninja. You know, the annual ninja parade, you get pictures all the time, but you never see the people. The kilt is the exact opposite of that. You're going to be seen, and you're going to be photographed, people are going to want to talk to you, all of those things. So, you're going to get a lot of attention. So now, if you combine not being an asshat with a lot of attention, what does that do for you? So, if you're a professional, what it does is the kilt conveys a sense of confidence, a sense of being able to do whatever it is you're going to do, and do it well. Well, maybe not well, but actually be able to do something. You know, it says, I'm not just going to sit on my couch and be lazy all day, every day, and wait for things to come to me. I'm going to get off my ass and actually go do stuff. It's not quite bravado, but a sense of, that's the guy that knows how to do stuff. That's the guy who is going to get things done because you have the confidence to wear a kilt publicly for no reason other than the fact that you want to wear it. So you're going to get the attention, and once you have, people see that, you have that confidence, most obviously, now I'm a guy and I like women, so for me, it attracts the attention of the ladies, which I think is pretty cool. My girlfriend might not agree with that, but, she likes my kilt too, so I can't win them all. But it applies to anybody who's wearing a kilt. If you go someplace and you're wearing a kilt, the odds of whatever type of person you enjoy the company of noticing it and being attracted to it is like a 12 on the 10 scale. People are going to see it and they're going to want to come talk to you. Now, so that's personal relationships. Now, I will say one thing about that. You have to be very careful because the kilt does not have a filter. Everybody is going to come want to talk to you. The people you want to talk to and the people you don't want to talk to. So you have to learn very, very quickly how to differentiate between those people and find a way to tactfully extricate yourself from any situations where someone's being a little pushy or they happen to have had too many drinks and they want to get to know you a lot more than you want to get to know them. There's a lot of ways you can work on getting out of those situations, but that's something that people generally learn in life one way or the other, the hard way or the easy way. So that's something you have to deal with when it comes to being seen. So from a professional perspective, what does the kilt mean? I wear my kilt every day, and from what it's done for me is it has, first off, it's helped me get my job because I'm seen. It's probably not a whole lot to do with a lot of it, but because of the kilt, it led me down a path to help a lot of other people who are in the kilt-related industry, and by that, it helped me gain the experience and the knowledge to do the job I'm doing now. So taking the very windy road, it kind of helped me get my job. Clients, it's a real no-brainer. Anyone who's in business and has done sales, the hardest thing to do is to get people's attention and keep it. And to get them to remember who you are. If you're the guy in the kilt, it's a piece of cake. The only trouble you have is you have hundreds of people who know who you are. You're going to have a hard time remembering hundreds of people's other names. So just expect a lot of people to come up and say, "Hey, KT, I remember you from blah, 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 blah." I don't know you from Adam. I apologize. And just become very gracious in how you say that, because a lot of people are going to come up and want to talk to you. And in business, once you have their attention, you got to keep it, which means you need to learn your craft, whatever your profession is, so that when you are talking to these people, you're not just that guy in the kilt. You are that guy in the kilt who does whatever, and eventually, as you become used to it and you become more proficient, you are that guy who does this, who also wears a kilt, where it's no longer the key factor in your being noticed. It just happens to also be there. You know, for me, I like doing public speaking. I like doing mentoring, helping small businesses and companies get off the ground and get going. And I'm able to get more attention because of the kilt, but not just the kilt. It's my skills and my ability and my experience are the things that I follow up that, "Hey, you're the guy in the kilt. What do you do?" question. I'm like, well, I get people noticed. And then I go into what I do with the with my company, with the company that I work with, BBM Pros. That's what we do. We get people noticed. And the kilt has helped me do that with Chamber of Commerce events, out in public. This past weekend, I was out at Lowe's, and somebody walked up and says, "Hey, you're the guy in the kilt. Don't you work for that media company?" And I'm meeting with that gentleman sometime next week to potentially get him as a client. So you use it to stick out. At Hamilton, down in Texas, with the Men in Kilts window washing company. How else you stick a guy in a kilt, stick him up a ladder to wash a window, you're going to get noticed. And people are going to remember, and they're going to want to go to you. You stick out in a crowd. So that's huge. A couple of other things that the kilt does is when you're walking, say, down a very busy path. I learned this on a trip to New York City a few months ago. I was there with my girlfriend, and she's walking down in New York City down the sidewalk, and she's getting frustrated because there's people and they're getting in her way. And I found it kind of comical. And I was walking, and it was like Moses had parted the Red Sea. People get out of your way. I mean, I know, granted, I'm 6'3". I'm not exactly a very small person, but any guy in a kilt, people are going to move. They're going to get out of your way, and they're going to want to see what's going on, but they're first going to get out of your way. So you've got that going for you. The other thing is that you get access. People want the guy in the kilt who, remember, is not an asshat. They want the guy in the kilt at their stuff. So I have gotten invites to special events, concerts, private parties, all kinds of other things, because I'm the guy in the kilt and I'm not an asshat. Very important, that not being an asshat thing, because if you are, you're going to screw up the whole thing. But you could have a gilded kilt with platinum weave and nobody would care because you're just a pain. So that's a lot of the cool stuff that wearing a kilt will get you. But like I said, it's all predicated with you not being an asshat. Big, big, big point there. So before I get on to my next bit, I'm going to ask what volume of Kiltology we're going to read from tonight. And also, I'm going to ask that after the video gets posted up to Facebook and Twitter and wherever, if you guys could ask some questions, stuff that you want to know about, because I could ramble on forever about anything, but if it's not important to you, then what's the point? Why am I talking about it? So as we start progressing through these everyday KTs, I want to know what the viewers have on your mind. You want to know about kilts, and I'm going to start throwing in all kinds of different angles that are related to the kilt in one way or another, but they're more related to real life, so that you'll actually have an application of all these things that we're talking about. So what I'm going to talk about first is one of my friends, Dirk from Got Kilt, as you can see here or here, depending on how you're watching it. He sent me a notice that he is starting a Midwinter Faire in Mount Clemens, Michigan, and that's at the Gibraltar Trade Center on February 3rd through the 5th, 2017. Basically, it's an indoor Ren fair. So he asked me, you can do anything for me? I'm like, absolutely, I'll throw it out there. So one thing you want to keep in mind, though, this particular Renaissance Festival, it has two different events, if you will. It's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Saturday and Sunday during the daytime, it has full-blown family events. But I guess Friday night and Saturday night are 21 and over only. That tells me shenanigans, but I know what I printed off. And I know you can't read this because it's backwards. But they have entertainment, they have loads of vendors, they have pipe bands, they have all kinds of silliness. And of course, if it's a 21 and over event and you've got guys in kilts running around, shenanigans are bound to happen, especially if it's inside. So if you've got questions about this thing, go to midrenfaire.com. That's midrenfaire.com. And you can go check that out and figure out where all that is. And they also have a Facebook page. And I just wanted to throw that out there. If anybody who's watching has an event coming up, they've got a Renaissance Festival, they've got a Scottish Festival, games, a really cool concert for someone like a pipe band or a Celtic rock band maybe, somebody's going to go see Dropkick Murphys, let me know and I'll talk about it here. By the way, if you get Dropkick Murphys, try your best to get on stage during the encore. It's a blast. So Kiltology, the first episode, or the first one in was Volume 1, so Kiltology Volume 1. And we're going to go with this kind of goes back to everything we just talked about. Kiltology number 32. Remember, don't be an asshat. Screw everything up for not only you, but everybody else in a kilt. Kiltology number 32. The simple presence of a man in a kilt has been known to quell uprisings and conflicts without a single fist being raised or shot being fired. And I'm not just... That actually is based on reality. There have been more than one potential altercations that I've been involved with early on in my years wearing my kilt, where there was a potential for a fight, and it never happened. They just decided that, you know, the whole, you don't want to go explain why you have a black eye from a guy in a skirt the next day. That mentality thing kind of sunk in, and nothing ever happened. So just being there settles down everything. I was talking to some police officers at the Tulsa Scottish Games a couple of years ago, and I asked them, you know, if it bothers them that they're at a Scottish festival with thousands of people with skeins and claymores and dirks and all kinds of other various weapons, massive axes and bastard swords and whatnot. And the officer basically said, you know what, this is probably the safest event that we could ever go to, regardless of what it is. He's like, they have more problems at Barney shows than at the Scottish Festival. So that's awesome. So just being there helps calm the whole place down. So don't forget, midrenfaire.com for the Midwinter Pleasure Fair up in Michigan. I believe it's Michigan. I don't remember. I think that's Michigan. And as always, leave me some comments and let me know what you guys want to talk about. Be strong. Put a kilt on.